Hello everyone, this is the first video on my channel Low Code Superhero. I have created this channel to discuss and demonstrate the features of low code platforms that are available in the market. The first tool I would like to explore is Microsoft's Power Apps. Before I begin, I would like to give a brief introduction on my professional experience. I have over 6 years experience in various low-code tools like Appian and Power Apps, and I've created multiple applications for many Fortune 500 companies in my career. Without further ado, I would like to briefly show you an application that I created in Power Apps that would give a good idea of what is possible in Power Apps. So the way you would access Power Apps is going to this URL called make.powerapps.com. So when you go to make.powerapps.com, you can go to apps. You zoom in a bit. So there's this menu called apps. You can click on it, and this is the application that I created. It's called motorcycle rental service. If I click on motorcycle rental service, I will be going to the edit mode. I don't want to edit right now. So to just view the app, you can go to make.powerapps.com again. You can go to apps again. So there's this, if you just hover over the application, there is this button called play. So like there's a play button here. You can click on this button. This would take you to the application, or you can go to details, and you can actually get a URL of the application. You can copy this URL, paste it in your browser. This way also you can access the application. Okay, ignore all the warning. This is in a developer environment, so this should only be for testing purpose. That's what it's saying. You can ignore the warnings right now. So I have one instance of the application running. So you have three menus here. So this application is intended for a service which rents motorcycles. So if I click on this button called motorcycle, it lists all the motorcycles that's available right now. You can just go over all the motorcycles. You can click on the motorcycle you want to see, and you'll be able to see all the details. You can edit that motorcycle. For example, for some reason the status of this motorcycle is not available. I can click on this button. I can change it to rented or maintenance or reserved or something like that. So if I want to delete this motorcycle also, I should be able to do it. So I just select the motorcycle I want to delete, and I click. So I want to delete this Honda. So I'm just going to delete this motorcycle right now. So I've deleted this motorcycle. And if I want to add a new motorcycle, I can click on this plus button. I'm just going to put a CH001. This should be the chassis number of the motorcycle. Make Honda model CB250, and plate number I'm just going to put TL001. These are fictitious. It's not the real motorcycle number plate or anything. And I'm going to put it as available, and the year is going to be 2025. And if I click tick, a new motorcycle got added. I can click on. I can create a new one also. I'm just going to put chassis number CH00002. Make is Honda again. Model is CB250 again. Plate number again. I'm just going to put PL002. Okay, and I'm just going to put it's available, and the year is also 20. And let's assume this one is 2022 model. And I'm going to click tick. A new motorcycle got added. Okay, I'm going to click on the home button. It takes you back to the home screen, and if I select customer, I'll be able to see all the customers in our business. I'm going to delete this one customer, test. I'm just going to recreate this test customer again. So if I click on this new button, I'm just going to put test2, license number. That person's driving license number would be test 100. customer ID would be, you have to manually give the customer ID right now, but in the future I might create a small logic which automatically generates it. But right now I'm just going to put 11 for now. Okay. I'm just going to put email to at gmail.com, and that person's phone number would be 555 something like that. It would be that person's phone number. And when I click tick, a new user got added. And when I go back to the home again, I will be able to go to this page called rental registration. When I go to rental registration, I will be able to see all the rentals that a person, like the person have done, the customers have done. And if, for example, I'm going to add a new registration, I'm not sure if you ever rented a motorcycle or car. First thing they will record is the odometer at the start. Let's assume the odometer was 2,500 at the start. At the end, let's assume it was 3,000. And let's assume they paid on the same day. So let's just put for today's date. Let's assume they paid at 4 and start. Let's assume they started yesterday. And they started at noon yesterday and they ended it at today noon. And the amount they paid, let's assume, I could write a logic which automatically calculates the amount, but I'm just going to put 2,000, right? And the payment method they used, you can select, I'm just assuming they paid with cash. Customer, we added a new customer called test2. In fact, you can search test. For example, if you want to search, let's assume you know the person name is Ethan. So you can select Ethan Hunt right now, the customer. So assume Ethan Hunt is renting a motorcycle, and the make of that motorcycle, we added a Honda, and I'm going to select Honda right now, and we have CB250. So this is the motorcycle that we added just now. If I select this, you'll be able to see two plate numbers, PL001 and PL002. If that person is renting out the PL002, you can select PL002, and I can click on this tick button. So as you see, I just created a very basic application which allows people to rent motorcycles. This just took me about 2 to 3 hours, from creating the databases, creating the business logic. Everything just took me less than 2 to 3 hours. If you had to make this with something like uh, uh, JavaScript or something, this would take you many days, maybe even weeks of work. So as you see, like Power Apps makes it very easy to create business applications within a few hours instead of a few weeks. And I believe more and more businesses are going to be using these low-code tools like Power Apps. Before I talk exclusively about Power Apps, I just want to briefly explain to you about the Microsoft Power Platform. It has 5 tools: Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and Power Pages. A point to note: Power Pages recently became an independent tool. It is no longer part of the Power Platform. Power BI was initially launched in 2015. It enables rich data visualizations and business intelligence. It is built on Excel's Power Query and Power Pivot. In 2016, Power Apps and Microsoft Flow, which is now rebranded to Power Automate. This was launched in 2016, allowing users to build applications and automate workflows with minimal coding. In 2019, Microsoft officially branded these tools as Power Platform, emphasizing a unified ecosystem. It also launched Power Virtual Agents for building AI-powered chatbots. I'm not really going to go over Power Virtual Agents right now. I'm just going to primarily focus on Power Apps. Power Automate also added robotic process automation in 2020, so you can like automate routine tasks which you do in your computer. You can do it with Power Automate. That also I want to be going over in this series. Uh, in 2022, Power Pages, as I said, Power Pages was spun off into a independent tool from the Microsoft Power Platform. It enables low-code website creation. 2023 onwards, there was a deep integration with Copilot and Dataverse. I just want to briefly tell you what Dataverse is. Dataverse is an online database solutions from Microsoft. It is sort of like SQL and SAP HANA. Database Dataverse lets you securely store and manage data that is used by business application. Data within Dataverse is stored with a set of tables. A table is a set of rows, formerly referred to as records, and columns, formerly referred to as fields slash attributes. So, Dataverse is sort of like a online database which is connected to the Microsoft Power Platform environment. It is not only used by Power Platform; it can be used for many other applications. Like you could even write a Python script which automatically gets data from Dataverse or patches data to Dataverse. Or there are many applications you can do with Dataverse. But with regard to Power Platform, it is the main way data is stored in a Power Platform. Uh, Power Apps also allows you to connect to other data sources like SQL Server, MS SQL, Microsoft SharePoint, and all, and that is done through this thing called data connectors. I will go to data connectors also in future videos. The scope of this course, I'm going to go through Microsoft Entra license. So Microsoft Entra is how you authenticate into Power applications. I will go through what license is required to start using Power Apps and other Power Platform. So in order to be able to use Power Apps, you need specific sets of license. I will go through that as well. I will deeply go through Power Apps, Canvas apps. So there are two types of applications in Power Apps. That's Canvas apps. Canvas apps are the application that you saw just now. And there's also model-driven apps, which is entirely built on Dataverse. Like if you create a table in Dataverse, it automatically creates an application which allows you to update the data, show the data in a form, create a form for that data. All that things it automatically creates. I will go through it in a later set of videos. I want to briefly go through what Microsoft Entra is. Microsoft Entra is a unified identity and access management suite for Microsoft. What is identity and access management? So identity and access management. As the name suggests, identity tells you who you are. So it tells you that person's email address, or in this case, they call it as user principal. And you can also give identity to non-human objects like applications, or they have another set of accounts called service accounts. So this is used by applications or services to access data in things like Dataverse, or it can also be used to access other Microsoft Azure services also. So Microsoft Entra tells you who you are, and it also manages what you're able to access. Access management tells you what you're able to access. It's sort of like when you go into an office, identity is sort of like your identity card, and access management is sort of like tells you what rooms you're allowed to access. So Microsoft manages that in the digital environment. There are many identity and access management tools out there. Like IBM has their own, Google has their own. There are many. They call these set of tools called IAM, identity and access management. But for Power Apps and Power Automate, all these Power Platform tools will use Microsoft Entra as their identity provider, identity and access management provider. It is designed to support zero trust security across cloud and hybrid environments. Zero trust means like it is going to verify you explicitly. It is not going to assume that you have access. And there are many things that is related to zero trust. You can read up on it. It was initially called Azure Active Directory. Initially, Microsoft Entra was like Azure Active Directory was one of the services in Microsoft Azure. But since Microsoft realized that it is not only used by Azure, it is used by many other services, like for example, Power Platform, or you can even log into your organization's computer using Microsoft Entra. Then they realized that it is used by multiple tools. They decided to rebrand it as Microsoft Entra, and they have decided to call it as a independent service. It is not. It is still you can still access Microsoft Entra from Azure, but you do not have to log into Azure to log into Microsoft Entra. And for those people who don't know what Microsoft Azure is, it is Microsoft's cloud service, sort of like how Google has Google Cloud Platform and Amazon has AWS. Azure is Microsoft's cloud service, Microsoft Cloud Service. So as I said, it verifies the identities and manages access and enforces security policies. You can even do things like this person should only be able to access that application from their laptop or at this particular time. You can set up all sorts of conditions like that. There are many things Entra does that is beyond the scope of this course, which is like ID governance, ID protection, verified access, internet access, private access, and workload ID. There are many things that Entra does. It is not just giving identity and access to a person, but that is beyond the scope of this course. And why Entra is relevant to this course? As I said, authentication and access control. Power Apps uses Microsoft Entra to authenticate users securely, and it enables single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. Single sign-on is like if you have multiple applications, you don't want to remember a password for every single application. You just have to remember one set of username and passwords, and that can be used everywhere. And multi-factor authentication is you don't just give your password. You can you have to give an additional set of authentication requirements, like by giving an OTP from your mobile phone, or you will have to go to Microsoft Authenticator application and approve a request. So there are many multi-factor authentications out there, but Entra does this out of the box. Dataverse integration. As I said, like Dataverse is the primary database that Power Apps and other Power Platforms will use, and it allows you to verify your identity and allows you to set access permission. You can set this person is allowed to access this set of tables or this set of rows. This person is able to access that sort of things. You can define using Microsoft Dataverse using Microsoft Entra. App registration in Entra. So if you want your application to connect with another set of application, you can register that application in Microsoft Entra and allows you to securely do API access to Dataverse data. That sort of thing also you can do. Conditional access policy. It lets you decide what are the conditions that is required for a person to access the application, under what conditions. Like, is the device compliant? Where is the location? What is the risk level? This sort of thing you can do. So this is the key principles of zero trust. You have to verify all sorts of things before you give access to a person. Entra does this out of the box. Conditional access policy is one of the things that Microsoft Entra is doing. Role-based access. You can create custom roles, or you can use the built-in roles so that a person is able to access Power Apps. But there are three permissions they have built in Microsoft Entra in Power Apps. They are creators, viewers, admins. So as a creators, as you know, like as the name suggests, allows you to create the application. Viewer will only be able to view the applications. Admins will be able to do everything, like creating access to other users, that sort of thing. Admins will be able to do. Verified ID and external users. So if somebody doesn't have a Microsoft Entra account, and you want them to be able to use your Power Apps application. For example, if they are partners or if they are customers, then you can use Microsoft Verified ID, or you can use this thing called external users. So that allows people to access your applications. I will go over all of these things later. A workload identity for automations. So some backend things like creating bots and all, you can give workload identity to some other applications. So in summary, Microsoft Entra is the identity and access provider. Without having a Microsoft Entra account, you won't be able to use Microsoft Power Apps at all. It's a bit tricky to set up, but I will go through the steps required to set up Microsoft Entra also. That's all for today, folks. In tomorrow's session, I will go through how to set up a Microsoft Entra account for yourself, and I will tell you how to create new users, and yeah, I'll go through Microsoft Entra steps so that you'll be able to create a Power App application and learn about Power Apps.